What's going on, everyone? So today we're gonna finish up the PS3 and get it added into our loop. First things first, we're gonna drain all this out. See it coming out of the giant reservoir there. Once we have this all drained out, we're gonna clean up our wiring a little bit and get our third pump wired in. That's going to power our PS3. I think with our PS3 I want to draw straight from the giant reservoir. It'll go straight down into the pump it up through the PS3, and it'll drop it off back into this reservoir. So let's go ahead and look at the PS3. Alright, here we are at the PS3. Kind of explained in the last video, we're going with the slightly smaller tubing, and we literally just have it going in and out from the block. This one here will then go in to our radiator here, and then this one will loop around, or maybe this one, I don't know yet, it doesn't matter, but the pump will pump into the radiator. This will come out, go in through the block. This will be our temperature sensor, and then this will come out, go back into, return into the loop. Now, like I said, these fans are extremely loud on 12 volts. They're just obnoxious. They look cool, but we just can't do 12 volts with those. So basically, I'm going to modify, well, I am modifying this is our fan connector for our original fan. And then it's spliced into this 4-pin, which I then plugged in our pump, fan, some LEDs, stuff like that into. I just put these two wires in so we can actually make this a full 4-pin Molex connector. And we're going to splice into here. This is our positive and negative 5 volt going into our temperature display. And it does kind of split off and go to this button, momentary switch first, because this is a standby 5 volts, so it's always on. Instead of burning out our temperature display, all you gotta do is hold this down, check your temp, let go, it shuts off. We're gonna splice into this. That's what these two wires are for. We're gonna do it before the switch, that way these fans don't only go on when you hold this down. These will actually be on all the time as long as this is plugged in. These will be spinning. They'll be pretty much silent at 5 volts. And then this 4-pin Molex, we're going to go into this one, and this splits it off into two 3-pins that are 5 volts. That'll be for these two fans. And then the other two are 12 volts, and we'll plug this fan, maybe an LED strip or something. We've got this extra 3-pin for. But that's what we're going to do. Now the reasoning, the pump for this will also be on a switch, so because this doesn't get played nearly as much as the other system, so it doesn't need to be in the loop. However, I can just turn the pump on even when this is off. These fans are still spinning. It'll still pump water through the block and through this radiator in case I want to further cool the fluid in the system, which will be pretty much unnecessary, but that option is there. So, we got a splice in right here, get these plugged in, then our wiring is all done. Then I need to still sand off the little pegs around this temperature display so we can have it set in all the way. I know it's been sticking out for quite some time. Finally fix that up. Once all that wiring's done, we can plug all this stuff in, make sure this is all kind of cleaned up here, put it all back together, and then we can run the tubing that's external. That'll go from here to the radiator and then just feed the two tubes into our loop and put our other pump right here into the loop. Have it draw in, do our inlet and outlet lines for that, and then we can test our loop with two systems, 3 pumps, and actually turn them both on at the same time, kind of have them both do something. That way we can see how it affects our water in our loop, and then from there get working on the next step. Alright, so once again I had to take apart the Stealth to take some of the fittings out so I can get our PS3 hooked up. I can order some more, but I wanted to get this hooked up right now. Plus I need to swap out our fans in the back here of the 40 mil anyway to the clear ones with the purple lights. So yeah, it's getting messy. There's a lot of stuff taken apart, but we have everything pretty much hooked up. So here's our PS3. We use the UV red tubing on the outside here. So this one into the radiator, out, loops around, and then this one just loops around. Both of those come up here and go into the front. I will eventually have, sort of have a plate I can show. Let's see. Here we go. So this will hold the temperature display, and then I want the tubing to go through right here, and then these two switches will be for the pump, but for now we're just going to wire it straight up. Well, we're going to leave it unplugged for now while we fill everything up and run the other pumps, and then when that loop is full, then we can turn this one on and fill it up. But as you can see here, our fans are running, system is plugged in, we got our standby light, 23.6. So yeah, and I'm getting ready to add fluid right now. I figure let's throw, I like using UV fluid even if it's just a little bit mixed in with the water on first try. You can use a little UV light and check for any leaks. But this is all of the purple I have left. It's really the only color I have left besides the red that was in the Xbox One. But that one stains pretty bad, so we're just going to fill this up first and then do the rest with water. Alright guys, got this as full as we can for now. Go ahead and fire it up. Got all three pumps plugged in right now. See the bubbles going down. So we now have this one feeding this reservoir, which feeds the two pumps. This one pumps it through back into here. This one pumps it through the Xbox back into the top reservoir. The secondary one goes straight into our pump, and then that pump pumps it through the PS3 and back into this reservoir. So far all three pumps seem to be fine. I don't hear any of them struggling at all. They're completely quiet, quieter than the fans, so you can't hear them at all. Can't hear these fans that are on. Finally got our temperature display flush in there. We're at 25. So now we need to go ahead and test out our PS3. Shut this down. We'll get both of these on for a little while and just see what happens with our temps. Keep in mind this one is a flat sensor that's directly under the water block. This one here is actually spliced into the tubing, so that'll be our actual water temp, and we still don't have anything on our main loop just yet. I did get the one pump mount in. I didn't bother doing it because I didn't think it was actually going to come in today, but I'm supposed to have two of these. I only have one, so I need a second one. That'll be in our next version of this. We will clean up all the wiring, get our pump mounts in. As you can see, this one's kind of, well, it's completely half-assed in there right now, but that's basically where the two Phobia pumps will sit next to each other there. I do think I want to add another reservoir inside here so that it's not one trying to feed all these pumps. I know this one is fed from the reservoir, but there's still pressurized system, you know. I think if we split that up a little bit, have the one go to the two pumps here, and then keep this one for these two. Kind of even out too a little bit. We'll have multiple ports going to each one, so it'll kind of keep them even levels. But yeah, everything seems to be great so far. I'm going to do a little bit of testing, and we'll take a look at our temps. Alright, so seems like with both of them on, or even one of them off, the temperature is staying at about 26. Now I've just been doing some multimedia stuff, not like video games or anything, but this is 26.7, and here we are at 26.5 or 0.4. Even with this off, it doesn't really go down at all. That's because our Xbox is still on, keeping the fluid at a certain temperature. And that's kind of what I was hoping, whether no matter which system is on or what combination of systems or if they're all on, that it'll still be a very even temperature level all the way across, just because one, there's so much fluid with our giant reservoir and this giant loop here, and also no matter which one's on, the fluid is still being cooled in some way and being shared through everything, so it's going to keep everything at an even temperature. So pretty cool. That's it for today, guys. We'll see you in the next video where we continue to perfect whatever this is called.